I was thinking about this last night with that GW Bridge.
Yeah, at midnight you couldn't get home, right?
Yeah, it was terrible and tragic. Stay in the city, this is what we're talking about, or move out to the suburbs. It is a tough question for a lot of families.
It's sort of like the existential question of living in New York. Alsamar spent time in both places looking for savings and hidden costs. It's very complex because the ease of living in the city is not to be understated with all these nightmare commutes.
A backyard and a nice house
and
is so lovely.
I don't think I've ever met a couple or family who hasn't spent time worrying about this. I mean, it's really a big question for a lot of people. It's something my husband and I ask each other almost daily. And as we said, I think a lot of other couples do too. Do you want a backyard and a little more space? Do you want Central Park as your backyard and all that the city has to offer? What can you afford? And how about the cost of school? I spent a morning with the Schneiders, who decided to raise their family in Westchester, and the Shures, who have 2 kids in the Upper East Side, to see what their lives and their expenses look like.
Good morning.
Morning. Good to see you. Wow.
Thanks for having us. I'm Allison.
Right. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. This is Scott.
Hey, Scott. Nice to meet you.
Stay in the city or move out to the suburbs.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
Good. Come on in.
Thank you so much.
It's a question families have been wrestling with for years. What makes more sense, city or suburban living? Tina and Greg Shure are raising their 2 kids on the Upper East Side.
It's funny. I remember, when Tina and I met, quote unquote, I wasn't going to have 1 kid in the city, 2 kids in the city. I wasn't going to live and rent long-term in that city. And here we are 10 years later, 1 kid, 2 kids we rented for the last 10 years. But it's going great right now.
2 bedrooms converted into 3s like this rent for between $5,000 and $7,000 a month in this building. Tina and Greg send their daughter Chloe to the local public school. Their son Hunter goes to a private preschool for about $2,000 a month.
Good morning.
Jenna Schneider and her husband Brad moved to Ardsley in Westchester from Brooklyn about 3 years ago.
It was nice to have a driveway, so you're not worried about alternate side of the street parking.
They bought this 3-bedroom house for $577,000, which works out to just over $3,000 a month in mortgage and taxes if you were to buy it and put 20% down.
I lost a tooth.
What?
It went down the drain, a tooth.
Are you kidding?
Their son Jackson goes to public school. Their daughter Madeline goes to a private preschool. They run about $1,500 to $2,500 a month in this area, depending on the hours. And the Schneiders definitely spend more time in the car these days.
It takes, 20 minutes to get to the supermarket and, 20 minutes to get here or 15 minutes, and then by parking and going through everything. So it was just getting used to a different way of life as opposed to walking down the stairs and on the corner you have the deli, the bagel store, the supermarket, pretty much everything you need within 25 feet.
Though they spend a lot less on groceries.
Prices are a little bit different. We average anywhere between $75 and $100 a week in food, and that's everything from, steak dinner to chicken dinner, to breakfast, all of the snacks for the kids.
Back in Manhattan, the Shores grocery shopping is about $200 a week. They have everything delivered for convenience.
We do everything online because it's just, I don't know, it's just like the culture for us. But we do Fresh Direct every week and Costco once a month, but the Costco we do online. So everything is online.
While their food spend is a lot higher, a perk of living in the city, they can walk the kids to school.
Have a nice day. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
No bus or car. So I think the thing I learned most from this story, it's not as cut and dried as most people think. The city has the reputation of being more expensive, but if you're sending your kids to public school and you're spending less time and money commuting, there is a lot of value there. And for some families, renting, not buying, just makes sense. They either don't have the down payment for a house or they prefer to keep it in the markets for the return and the easy access to cash. I thought I was going to do this story and have my answer.
Yeah.
It's
very
really
complex.
very
It's
personal.
super personal, right? But it's interesting to see all the different things that go into the decision.
And I was so surprised too that the preschool spend to send kids to private preschool, not that different if you're in the suburbs and you're in the city. Everyone talks about how expensive private schools are here in the city. Not that cheap everywhere else.
You're not moving to Ohio. You're still in a New York City suburb.
Yeah.
So there's still plenty of money sloshing around out there too.
I think the bottom line is it's not cheap anywhere around New York.
Whatever works for you.
Absolutely.